we are discussing about Hun in India and Europe. Now, we are aware that they were all called as Huns by themselves, Mongolian tribes, but in our language we are calling them as Hun. Now these Huns were just somewhere in number of 9 lakh. They were very good horsemen. Horse riding was important for them. Then they were all belonging to warrior clan, and they were nomadic tribes, only masters in their war. Usually it is described as they were using a crossbow, or say whatever that bow that is made up of composite type of bow. That material they used, that was composite type, and for that purpose the elasticity of their material was much more than ordinary material used for bow. As a result, their bows were more effective. Their bows were having smaller size. Say for example, here we are having this much size of bow. Suppose if you are discussing about Indian characteristic, we are using again and again concept. In case of even description of Lord Ram, it is described that as Ajanu Bahu. That means having very long hand that is ranging till your knees. So that is called as Ajanu Bahu in Sanskrit. So what is the reason? Because you have to hold bow like this, and we have to stretch the string, and we are using another word, Akarna. Akarna means what? I am stretching this bow here and stretching this till my ear. So this is called as Akarna. So like that, the bow was, Indian bow was longer in size, whereas here these Yungnu or Huns were made another type of bow that was comparatively small in size. One can use that on horse, and they were master in attacking by riding the horse. Now they were fighting out in very different manner. Say for example, they were making their smaller troops and they were attacking one by one. Suppose first troop is there, they will carry out attack. The moment that become tired, they will withdraw, and immediately after that another line of troop that will continue the war. And so that was very difficult for enemy to defeat this type of continuous attack of the troops. Again, they were making very loud sound. They were just shouting something like barking, and that's why the word came over there, that is barbarian. What is barbarian? The barking people, like that. So this is all nomad characteristic of fight. So they were sounding something like barking, and they were making enemy not to think in wise way, and they were carry out attack again and again. If at all they found that enemy is becoming more powerful than them, then they will use to run away from the battlefield. For a certain steps, certain distance, they will run away and again reunite and fight back. This is second attack, which is more powerful than their first attack. So these are all characteristic I am describing here. Now imagine the fight with Huns were really difficult. From say period, they were fighting with China, then they were entered in central parts of Asia. They defeated out Kushan again and again, and now they entered in India through this Khyber Pass. The repeated attack over border made Gupta Empire to take account of this Hun, and a prince of Gupta Empire named as Skanda Gupta, somewhere age around 25, he managed to move from Pataliputra to this border area of their empire for constant battle between Huns and Skandagupta. Skandagupta's army was well civilized, whereas Hun army was nomadic army. They were literally, as we are aware, that defeating out enemy, they were continue to carry out mass destruction of enemies and killing out people for just sake of their skull, because they used to drink liquor from their skull, and every night new skull was required. Like that, 9 lakh Huns were there. Just imagine what massacre they must have carried out in borderline area. Skandagupta managed to defeat these Huns from India. This is the most important thing. Till the border of India, Huns were considered as invincible. But now Skandagupta managed to carry out defeat over Huns, and Huns were returned from their border. So this is marvelous thing carried out by Gupta emperor. In case of Gupta empire or Gupta rule, Indian boundaries were protected from this Hun attack. Now Hun moved towards the westward. From here they moved into Iran, and from that they moved into westward direction till Roman Empire. So this way Guptan Empire survived from this Hun attack. The fresh Hun attack was carried out on India, but that fresh Huns were defeated back on border. Now Huns changed out their policy. While marching back, they allowed other people to mix with their camp. This way Hunic tribe now become mixed tribe. Till reaching in Europe, it is reported that certain white Huns were there in their family. That means what? Simply they married out, or say whatever that we can consider, but they mixed out with local tribal people also. Now because of the march of Hun from India towards Europe, the several nomads, they were settled out in between path. They were also migrated slowly. Like we discussed, the Kushans migrated from their area to area of Scythian. Then Scythian migrated to India, followed by again Huns migrated to Kushan territory. Kushan entered in India. So like that, these Huns displaced out various tribals on their journey to Europe. So like that, Vandals, Saxons, Visigoths, like that various attacks were carried out on Europe in those particular days, because these tribals were displaced by more powerful tribal, they were Huns. And ultimately Huns reached in Europe by crossing all the steppes. Keep in mind, steppes means the grassland which was there from Ukraine to Mongolia. The grassland traveling was much more difficult, but Huns carried out that task also. They were having well equipped army, and still army become more and more powerful, and then they reached at Europe. Now here I am changing out the subject. So we are now discussing or focusing on Roman Empire. Say this is not topic of our study, but we want to study out that for sake of our knowledge. And so I am drawing here partially a map of Europe. We are beginning from Portugal. This is Gibraltar, Italy, Greece. This is Greece part. Italy, then Sicily, Corsica, Spain, Norway, Africa, Sinai portion, and here somewhere India. Now here I am showing again certain geographical features. Now our map is not focusing on this portion right now. This is not according to scale, but important geographical features. You are aware this is Caucasus mountain, here somewhere Ural mountain, then the ranges of Himalaya, here somewhere Alps mountain that was extending till here.